Every year, the small Spanish town of Bugle comes alive with the spirit of chaos and color. Its narrow streets transform into rivers of tomato pulp as thousands of people engage in the world's largest food fight. But this time, amidst the cheering crowds and flying fruit, something else is happening. A group of men and women in plain clothes cut a tense path through the throngs of people. They are not here to join the fun. They are a joint MI6 CIA task force. The Aquarius somewhere in the crowd. Viktor Gradov, the elusive Russian arms dealer who has slipped through Western fingers for years. If they can get to him here, they might just have a chance to bring him down. Leading the charge is Noel Basit, a senior MI6 agent known for his sharp eyes and sharper tongue. He scans the blur of red-stained faces, searching for any sign of his target. Suddenly, Gradov appears on a nearby balcony, a smirk playing on his lips. The agents move forward, but in an instant, all hell breaks loose. From the crowd, Gradov's men draw concealed weapons and open fire. Gunfire cracks beneath the roar of the festival. Basset's team falls one by one, tomato pulp mixing with blood. Amidst the pandemonium, Gradov escapes, clutching a stolen access key to ECHELON, the global surveillance system of the Five Eyes Alliance. Basset, injured but alive, fades into the shadows, his mission a failure. The rest of the world believes he is dead. Meanwhile, halfway around the world in London, UK Prime Minister Sam Clarke prepares for a high-profile state visit. His guest, the newly elected US President, a former action movie star whose charisma rarely translates into diplomacy. The two leaders couldn't be more different. Clarke is a cerebral intellectual who believes in the power of diplomacy and cooperation. Derringer is a bombastic populist who prefers bluster to nuance. Their first meeting ends in disaster. During a joint press conference, Derringer makes a cutting remark about British cuisine and Clarke retorts with a scathing critique of American foreign policy. The media seizes on the exchange and headlines, "Divided allies," the next day. In the aftermath, both leaders are furious. But their aides, Clarke's level-headed chief of staff, Quincy, and Derringer's slick political consultant, Bradshaw, convince them to bury the hatchet. They will fly together to the upcoming NATO summit in Trieste, Italy, presenting a united front to their allies. But unity is never to arrive. Somewhere over Europe, Air Force One comes under missile attack. Warning sirens blare, Secret Service agents shout, and the plane shudders violently. As the situation deteriorates, Derringer and Clarke are forced into emergency parachutes. The plane tears apart in the night sky and both leaders land hard in the forests of Belarus, bruised but alive. Back in Washington and London, both men are presumed dead. The world reels at the apparent loss of its leaders. Now, behind hostile lines, Derringer and Clarke realize a horrifying truth. Someone within their closest circles had betrayed them to Gradov. They stumble upon help in the unlikeliest of places. A cheerful Belarusian farm woman who offers them food, clothes, and a hidden wagon bound for Poland. There, in the safety of a Warsaw safe house, they reunite with Marty Kummer, a grizzled CIA officer who once mentored Derringer during his film days, providing consulting on action realism. But their sanctuary is breached. Gradov's assassins, led by the cold-blooded duo of Sasha and Olga, storm the apartment. Bullets shatter the night. Kummer takes a round to the head and collapses, lifeless. Derringer and Clarke, cornered, are saved by a shocking figure, Noel Basit, scarred but alive. Basit fills in the grim picture.
Gradov's hacker, Hammond, has cracked ECHELON and begun leaking sensitive intelligence files worldwide.
The NATO summit is collapsing under the weight of distrust. Worse still, Basit reveals a personal secret. He and Clarke had once been romantically involved before Clarke pursued politics. The revelation unsettles Derringer, though he buries it under a mask of bravado. The trio boards a night train to Italy, hoping to reach Trieste in time for the summit. But Gradov's reach is long. Another assassin, Servos, boards the train and attacks the group in the dining car. Chaos erupts as passengers scream and flee. In the ensuing struggle, Derringer is momentarily knocked unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds himself face to face with Service. The two men fight, trading blows that echo the intensity of their on-screen altercations. In the end, Derringer emerges victorious, knocking Service off the train and to his death on the tracks below. Moments later, Hammond, who had stowed away on the train, reveals the full extent of Gradov's treachery. He explains that Gradov intends to use the stolen ECHELON data to blackmail the United Kingdom into ending its participation in the alliance. Wounded but resolute, the group reaches Trieste. They make their way to the summit hall where delegates from across the alliance have gathered. Despite the risk, Derringer and Clarke decide to attend the meeting. There they confront the delegates with the damning evidence of the leaks, only to realize it was a trap. As they expose Cook, she reveals her true colors, silencing the room. Her bodyguards, allied with Gradov's mercenaries, swarm the hall, forcing Derringer, Clarke, and Bissett to flee. They fight their way through the corridors, pursued by Olga and Sasha. Just when it seems all hope is lost, they find themselves in a large square outside the summit hall. Around them stand rows of ancient Roman statues, silent witnesses to the drama unfolding before them. Suddenly, the ground trembles beneath their feet. A massive bronze statue of an emperor topples from its pedestal and lands on Sasha, crushing him beneath its weight. The assassins retreat, allowing Derringer, Clarke, and Bissett a moment's respite. Inside the summit hall, delegates cower in fear as Gradov enters the chamber. He steps onto the podium, silencing the room with a single bullet. With the leaders incapacitated, Gradov intends to deliver the final blow. He sends his remaining men to secure the building and silence any remaining threats. But as they leave, one of the agents, Hammond, succumbs to his conscience. He turns the gun on himself, ending his own life. Before he dies, he gives Clarke a final message. Go to my office in Zadar, Croatia. The truth of your betrayal lies there. In Zadar, they discover encrypted chat logs exposing Derringer's trusted aide, Bradshaw, as the traitor. But before they can confront him, Gradov's forces attack again. In the ensuing explosion, Sam Clarke is seemingly killed. Grief-stricken but driven, Derringer and Bissett push onward to the summit hall. There, they reunite with Clarke, alive and battered but unbroken. The three leaders stand side by side, ready to confront their enemies once more. Together, they pursue Gradov and his men to the harbor where Gradov's helicopter awaits. The fight culminates in a dramatic struggle aboard the helicopter. In a last-ditch effort to escape, Gradov threatens to crash the helicopter into a crowded marketplace. But Derringer manages to disarm him. A struggle ensues, culminating in Derringer hurling a massive marble statue at the rotor blades. The helicopter spirals out of control and crashes into the sea, killing Gradov in a fireball visible across the city. 2 months later, .com returns to Europe. NATO has survived the attempted fracture. Clarke and Derringer, once bitter rivals, have forged an unlikely friendship. The scars of battle linger, but so does respect. And in a smoky Warsaw bar, a figure nurses a drink. It is Marty Kummer, alive thanks to a metal plate in his skull. He winks at a pair of women before a familiar hand clasps his shoulder. It is Noelle Bissett, smirking. Miss me? The story isn't over.